So I try and look at least 3 technologies a week. I was looking at one every day, and it just my goal was to make my way through the entire Bullhorn
Marketplace.
marketplace, and I'm almost there. So I think I've got about a dozen more.
Yeah,
Um,
obviously, I don't want to piss people off because I actually work at a member of the marketplace, and I have. So it was great when I worked at Bullhorn because they would, some I guess some AEs didn't like it, but I loved having every Friday we had a meeting and we had a 30-minute, we had an hour meeting for like our team sales team, but 30 minutes was dedicated to a partner coming to talk to you and like tell you what they do. And
yeah.
number one, that's how I found Employee Stream, and that's how obviously I have a relationship with Andre and Gerald to get hired here. But it's also how I got my job at Herefish last year because literally, like, I think the day I left Bullhorn, Jason had come on and did a demo for us about the new functionality on the field level automation. And I
Hmm.
reached out to him, like, I reached out to him from my personal email address when I left Bullhorn. I was like, hey, the company that I used to work at uses Bullhorn. They need to do this with ownership rules. Can you do that with the I think you can do that now with the automation. And then he was like, hey, yeah, we can. And also, did you leave Bullhorn because it's your personal email address? Do you want a job? And like that's how that whole thing happened last year. And I was like, yeah, maybe I do. Let's talk.
Maybe
So
I do. I don't know. I hadn't thought about it.
yeah, like that's I mean, but so to any Bullhorn rep out there or the membership's leadership, those meetings were super powerful. Maybe they don't need to happen every week, but there should be something. I think at the UK, Gary Cook basically took a day with his whole field sales team for the UK and just had 15-minute speed pitches of all the partners. So instead of spreading it out, he just made it a big block and they just speed pitched it like they do at Engage. So I don't know. Like you, we nerd out. I was like super excited to learn all these cool things that people were doing.
I loved the Shark Tank thing that they did.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
at Bullhorn I think at their regional meeting. That to me was super cool. So
I think
I liked what Bullhorn is doing with the marketplace and treating it like a little Y Combinator incubator. Um, I think it's a super smart idea.
yeah, absolutely. And then you know they their teams know these people in the industry and all they do, like myself, and you're a fan of Bullhorn, but I go out and now I understand Bullhorn really deeply. And if people are like, "Hey, we need to change ATSs, we really have Employee Stream, but we don't know we can use it," you're like, "Well, you can use it on Bullhorn." And so you have
Right.
all these advocates all over the world now, right? So it's a pretty genius play. I'm assuming Salesforce does the same thing in the CRM space, where they, whether those guys stay at Salesforce as an AE or not, they still probably go
Yeah.
into the marketplace and are preaching Salesforce all over the place.
Well, I'm seeing some nice growth out of Aviante. So, you
Yeah.
know, in their marketplace. So I'm trying to, make sure that there's something for everyone, for all the customers that, I engage with. Some aren't footing the bill for Bullhorn. So, what's the alternative? So I want to ensure
Yeah.
that, I have an alternative in the event that's the conversation that we're having.
Have you talked
Um,
to Brian Wilson at Job Adder yet?
No, I haven't. Is that one that I should be talking to?
You should talk to Brian. People really like Job Adder. They're like the number one ATS for Australia in the Australian market at the moment. Super slick, pretty, really cool story. So far in COVID, I followed the CEO and listened to him, and he's been super impressive as well. Nice plug for Aviante because we are in talks with finalizing our partnership on a much deeper level too. So thank you for bringing that up on a video that I'm making and affiliated with.